Welcome back to FedBiz Exchange. I'm Michelle Brown, your coach and your mentor. In this video, I want to talk to you about something that many of you may worry about, and that is how to fund your government contracts. Well, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to easily create self-funding to support your DLA product contracts. One thing I want to mention is there are certain lenders that you must stay away from for your own sake and your business's sake. You need to stay away from what they call invoice factoring lenders to fund your contracts. I'm going to show you how you can do it on your own. If you would just follow the process, you can make this happen all the way to your multi-million-dollar contracts. So let's get into it. Before we get started, I want to let you know the course that so many of you have been asking for is here, Dibbs, How to Win Government Contracts with DLA, Defense Logistics. Just click on the link in the comment section to enroll and get immediate access to start winning contracts with DLA. And one last thing, don't forget you have Ask MichelleB for all of your business and government contracting questions. Now hit that red button to subscribe. In my last live free training for DLA, How to Win Contracts with Defense Logistics, I had some really great questions, but there was one question that I wanted to elaborate on a little bit more, and that question was from Lori. Lori wants to know if she wins an automatic award contract, should she have in place financing for $250,000? Now, I do realize some people want to start out winning big, and you could win big probably if you focused on it and if that's the strategy that you took. But we don't always want to go right in, jumping in feet first, owing people money and thinking about things like that if we don't have to. So I'm going to talk to you about a different way to avoid having to get financing early on, because later down the line, once you're established, you may need another type of financing, but in the beginning you really don't. And what if you don't have any money at all? You can start with no money at all. There's a way for you to do this, so let's get into it. Before we get into the steps you need to take for your self-funding efforts, you need to know a few facts first. Number one, the Prompt Payment Act requires the government contracting officers to pay you within 14 days. Now, currently, small businesses, contractors, are literally being paid and seeing their deposits in their accounts literally within 3 to 5 business days. So keep that in mind. That is incentive for you to get moving. When you're being paid quickly, you don't need financing. If you could just get that small start, think about that. Obama implemented that to help small businesses create more jobs when we were going through the recovery. The downfall in 2008 with the housing crisis and all of the jobs we were losing, he needed small businesses to get back on their feet and move quickly with government contracts. But the way that you do that is if people are paying you timely so that you can take that money and move it on to the next project. You can hire more people, whatever you need to do. Automated contract awards, they do happen, and they happen often. You could win an award where you're automatically being awarded contracts before you even know it. They're coming, you get a notice that there is a purchase being made and the contracting officer wants to work with you on something. It's already in the system. Sometimes you can see it on your documentation in your solicitation before you bid, or you can see it in your contract. So look for that whenever you win. Number three, lastly, there are tens of thousands of DLA contracts for products daily. So you have tens of thousands of opportunities to start a certain way, to build up and use these factual pieces of information that I'm giving you to win contracts, and I'm going to show you how. Let's go on to the steps you need to take to self-fund. This is how you're going to do it. You're going to start small. You need an investment of $300 to $500 to buy your product up front. So if they want 10 bottles of shampoo, then you can spend $300 or less to get 10 bottles of shampoo. Okay, that's how simple this is. You just have to find the right products you want to sell to start the process. This is how you're going to self-fund your DLA contracts. Then, when you're bidding, you need to make sure that you're pricing your bids for high profitability, but also you must be competitive to win. Sounds a little challenging, but it's really not. If someone just won an award, a contractor just won an award for $10 per unit, you know that you need to be under $10, but you could go down to $9.50 per unit. If you negotiate with your manufacturer or your distributor or supplier, well, like if you only need to buy 10 bottles of shampoo, but they want you to buy 20 to get that number down to $8.50, you do it. And then you just charge the government a little bit less than $10. So instead of charging them $9.50, maybe you charge them $9.30. You just need to do the math to see what it looks like and see if it's worth it for you. Okay? If it's free on board, all you're doing is buying the product. You may have to buy some small packaging. That could be less than $10. Okay? Because you're starting small. So you have to be profitable in your decision and pricing strategy, but you need to be competitive to knock that person out the box and win. Okay? Then you're going to do exactly what the contract says once you win. You're going to be on time. You're going to make sure your labels are printed from VSM. You don't have to do that. They're going to do it for you. Your packaging, you want to study the videos and get the information from me and people like me to ensure that your packaging is set up right. Okay? Then you're going to deliver early, because sometimes they tell you you don't need to have the product there for 160 days. You don't want to wait 160 days. You want to get it out now. You want to demonstrate that you can perform, number one, and number two, guess what the biggest thing is? You want to get paid fast. So let's say when you get paid fast, remember I said the Small Business Prompt Payment Act is in play. You get paid right after you deliver. You made a $500 profit, sometimes in some cases more. And then you take that profit, you put most of it away. I can see you putting aside $100 or paying someone back or something like that. But you need a plan. It's very simple. We're starting very small, keeping it simple. So you're going to take the profit that you made, at least 90% of it, and you're going to put it away because you're about to bid either on your first contract or your second contract. So in this case, let's just say that you're bidding on your first contract starting with $500 as an example. So this is an example of self-funding your DLA government contracts. We're going to start small. We have that $500 investment. Let's say this is the beginning. You've not won a contract yet, but you have that $500 initial investment. You can do this with $300 too. Okay, I said $500 and below, you could get started with DLA contracts. Okay, so we're starting with $500. I'm going to buy the product for $300 for the bid that I'm going to submit. I know exactly what the government wants. I found out how to get it. The manufacturer is going to allow me to buy what I need to buy, maybe even a little bit more, but specifically, I'm going to spend that $300. I'm not going to have any shipping costs because most shipping will be free, freight on board, okay? Free freight on board. Not all of it, but most products are. Hazardous materials are not. So I don't have any shipping costs. The most I may have in addition to buying the product would be maybe some small packaging. Okay, that's it. But I spent $300. I now have $200 left over from my initial investment. Then I win, because that's my goal, is to win. I win the contract, it's worth $1,500. I've already invested the $300. So now that $1,500 award that I'm winning, it's all mine. It's all profit. Okay, so I don't have to worry about other costs that are coming because I'm keeping it simple. I'm keeping my costs down. It's just me. I don't have to pay anybody. It's just that simple. So not only do I have the 200 left over from the initial investment, I have 1,500 that I just won. I have a $1,500 award. I now have $1,700 to invest back into my government contracting DLA business. Okay? It's as simple as that. That's how it's done. You will continue that process over and over and over again until you start winning a couple $100,000, a few $100,000. Then it's a $1 million contract. But you have to be strategic. By that time, you will have built up your relationships with the manufacturers, because when you spend with them, they're going to tell you, if you buy it this time, next time I'll give you a little credit. That's how you build that. You pay them on time. This $500 initial investment, what if you borrowed this? Then you take some of that money, maybe even you pay back the 100 of the $200. But you're going to make sure that you're paying people back and that you are building those relationships, specifically your manufacturers, distributors, and your suppliers.